Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture, we will discuss about the remaining MCQS from the question paper number 12 of March 2023 in biology. So now let's start. Blood entering the heart from the vena cava passes through the several structures before entering the lungs. As we know that the vena cava is that particular large vein which takes the blood from the all the parts of the body towards the heart. 5 of these structures are listed here. Atrioventricular node, aorta, semilunar valve, left atrium, pulmonary vein, Penine tissues, and sinoatrial node and pulmonary artery. After arranging these 5 structures in the correct order of the blood flow from the vena cava to the lungs, what structure will be the third? So first of all, from vena cava the blood will enter inside the pulmonary vein, then towards the atrioventricular node, and then towards the Penine tissues. So at the third number, Penine tissues will appear. So option number B here is the right answer. The bar chart shows the quantity of the endothelial tissues, elastic tissues, and the muscle tissues into the 3 blood vessels P, Q, and R. P, Q, and R here are the 3 blood vessels, and among all the charts, the white color chart shows endothelial tissues, grey color shows elastic tissues, and the black color shows the muscle tissues. So endothelial tissues, so a particular if a particular artery, so we can say that if there is the elastic artery, then elastic artery will require the more elastic tissue as compared to that of the others, more elastic tissues, and the less muscle tissues, and the least endothelial tissues. So it can be the elastic artery. So as the Q is concerned, Q can be the muscular artery, because we can say that the muscle tissues are higher in here. In this bar chart we can say muscle tissues are higher, so we can say this is the muscle artery. And in the case of this R, we can say that the muscle tissues are higher than that of the endothelial and elastic tissues. So it can be a vein. So it can be a vein in which all are present, but the muscle tissues are always present in the more amount, but in the elastic tissues only the elastic tissues are present in the more amount. So we can say option A here is the right answer. The maximum pressure in the each 4 chambers of the human heart was recorded during the one cardiac cycle. The maximum pressure recorded were 3 mm per mercury and 10 mm of mercury, 25 mm mercury, and 120 mm. So which value was recorded for the right ventricle? Right ventricle can be about 25 mm per mercury. So option C is the right one. The graph shows the pressure changes in the 3 structures of the right side of the heart during the cardiac cycle. Solid line shows one structure, dotted line shows, white dotted line shows the other structure, and the small dotted line shows the third structure. What is represented by the linear label D? Pressure changes in the pulmonary artery. Yes, it can be, because whenever the pressure changes in the pulmonary artery, then first of all the pulmonary artery will move from the blood, and it will take the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. So first of all the pressure will be high, and then it will be most higher than all, and then it will be decreased when it will get inside the lungs. Then it will give its all blood to the lungs, and the pressure will become low. It will decrease gradually. So it can be the pulmonary artery. So pressure changes in the right atrium, but in the case of the right atrium, the pressure is always higher, and when all the blood is removed from this, the pressure suddenly slows down and becomes 0, right? So this line only shows for the pulmonary artery. It cannot be for the right atrium, ventricle, or the vena cava. So option A here is the right answer. Which statement helps to explain why there is no cartilage in the wall of the bronchioles? Because wall of the bronchioles are not directly involved in the gaseous exchange. The gaseous exchange, it is just a passage for the airflow towards the lung. The gaseous exchange, it really appears in the alveoli, so the cartilage should be present in the alveoli, so that the alveoli can expand easily and can maintain the high surface area, so that the rate of the gaseous exchange can be higher. So the cartilage is only required in the alveoli. Cartilage would make the bronchioles too narrow. Yes, it will not make it, but it is not required here. The gases must diffuse across the walls of the bronchioles. No, gases do not diffuse here. The smooth muscles is sufficient to support the wall of the bronchioles. Yes, because the bronchioles are smooth muscles, so they are sufficient so that the walls of the bronchioles do not get damaged by the pressure of the air here. So option C here is the right answer. The photomicrograph shows a cross section of a part of a gaseous system of the mammal. What is shown by the line labeled V? It can be a part of a bronchiole, because we can show here that a pipe can be behind this. A pipe-like structure can be made behind this. So it cannot be alveoli, because alveoli are too small, and it cannot be an alveoli like this. It is too small to seen with a photomicrometer. And the diameter of a bronchiole, it can be the bronchiole, because bronchioles are big as compared to that of the alveoli. Capillary and the trachea cannot be recorded with this, so it is only the diameter of the bronchiole. Which features of the disease cholera decreases the spread of the pathogen Vibrio cholera? Whenever the disease appears, then it spreads, whether slowly or rapidly. It kills a lot of the people if it is kept untreated. Then the patients with the pathogen, with the disease will dead, and the number of the patients will decrease. So the rate of the spread of the decrease will also decrease. So the rate at which the disease will spread from the one person to the other, from the person to person, will also decrease. So let's find out. Immunity to the cholera after vaccination is short-lived. No, it is not related to it. It is not short-lived. It is for the more than 2 years. Up to 98% of the people affected with the Vibrio cholera are symptomless carriers. No, they show symptoms. The cholera rapidly kills up to the 50% of the people with the symptoms if they are not treated. It does not rapidly kill. It takes some time. Simple rehydration therapy. Simple rehydration therapy successfully treats about 99% of the people with the symptoms of cholera. It does not require, it needs proper antibiotic and the proper treatment. So option C we can say here is the right one, because it is the most closely related reason to decrease the spread of the pathogen Vibrio cholera. Which row shows how penicillin kills the bacteria? Whenever the penicillin is injected in the diseased person, or it is given orally to the diseased person, then penicillin affects the cell wall of the bacteria and makes it very vulnerable to the death. So it involves process inhibited by the penicillin. It will hinder with the formation of the peptidoglycan cross-links. So the cell wall will become weaker and will lead to the death of the bacteria. If factor on the bacteria, it will lead to the death of the bacteria, because the cell wall will be broken, and then the water can enter inside the bacteria then more than its limit. So it will burst and the bacteria will get die. So option A here is the right answer. In the hybridoma method, what is grown by the cell culture to produce a monoclonal antibodies. So we have to produce a monoclonal antibodies in the cells. So we have a large amount. So we have to gather a large amount of the clones, so that the monoclonal antibodies can be separated or extracted from these clones. So we require to produce the clones here. What type of immunity does a baby have at the birth? Whenever a baby is produced, then it has that particular immunity which is acquired from the environment. Then it becomes natural immunity. Whenever the baby encounters with the environment, then some immunity is given to it through injections, and then it will become its natural immunity. So we can say that it is the passive natural immunity the baby have at the time of the birth. So I will finish my lecture here. Meet you in the next lecture. Till then, stay tuned and Allah Hafiz.